Welcome to the Lesson of the Week with yours truly, Sean Thunder Wallace. I'm a performer, composer, and professor of music at The Ohio State University. This weekly program is designed to inspire and inform the serious music student. We're all students here, so join me on the path of discovery as we learn together. With any of this stuff, just make sure you're practicing with the metronome. And you're going through that just to reinforce and, like I said, to remind you of what reality is, and then the goal should be, you should set a tempo as a goal, and the goal should also be within that to be able to play through all of the keys without making a single mistake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you flub it all, you got to start all over. You might finish out the circle, but then you got to start all over again.
Yeah.
You know, and if one keeps jacking you up, spend the time getting that really solid and feeling comfortable with it, and then go back through and get everything happening. Yeah, that'll really reinforce, what's happening. That'll also help you with if sometimes you feel like when you're playing. If you feel like you're misfiring a lot, so you're going through stuff and you get to certain places and you know what you're supposed to play, or you're familiar with the changes and stuff, but it's like you just keep jacking up a certain thing, or you just feel like you're just kind of out of focus or something, that kind of stuff. That can actually help you with that.
Okay.
Because sometimes the reason that we play a certain way is because of the way that we practice. That everything is the way that we practice, right? But there might be certain gremlins in our practice that are actually affecting. They're actually affecting our soloing, our improvising. Because you get to a certain spot, and if you've practiced something so where you can play it and you're not making any mistakes, chances are when you think of it in context, it'll come out that way.
Yeah.
But when you were running through the keys, if you were in a key that was uncomfortable and you kind of dealt with it, but you were kind of skating a little bit, you got it so you can play it, but you didn't have any degree of success with it, really. It wasn't like you were playing it consistently a lot, consistently well. It's like you played it a couple times. Out of 10 times, you got it a couple times right.
Yeah.
So then that's what'll happen when you're improvising. You get it about 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
which isn't a very good percentage. Because you probably will only hear it once. You only want to play it once. So if you don't hit it once, then then you're probably done with that. So that's why stuff like the metronome and just making sure that you're, that kind of thing, that is happening. And that's one thing I notice, like when you play stuff for me, it's very apparent that you're practicing and that you're working all this stuff out. You can't play the stuff that I'm asking you to play without spending serious time. It's not possible.
Yeah.
But one thing that's also apparent is that you're not practicing with the metronome to solidify, to kind of seal the deal, so to speak, with some of the stuff.
Okay.
And putting that final coat. Put the final coat on it, so then, like I said, in context, it'll just come out, no problem. And also, when you come in here, you'll be able to, without making certain mistakes in certain spots, and kind of, now I got it. Okay, now I'll go to the next one. And as opposed to that, it'll be like this, because that's how you practice it. You practice it like this, so then it comes out that way.
Okay, cool.
Like if I was to have a recorder in your practice room, it would probably sound pretty much like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so just and it's supposed to sound like that when you're working it out. But when you have it, it's not supposed to sound like that anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
You know this, but sometimes what happens is we think we have it and we don't really need to do over it again. Oh, I don't really need to do that. Let's get on to something else. That's the way we think.
That's one thing I've been having trouble with too lately. Like hardcore is just like really sticking to just one thing, because I get really impatient stuff, and I'm like, man, I just want to get. Oh, I have this other pattern I want to learn now. It's like, so I'll just finish this up. Oh yeah, now I can play this. But it's like, you know, I didn't really finish it, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. You know, I get. You know, I talk to you guys about this. I get bored.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I quickly get bored with stuff, and I've had to really build up my endurance and my level of patience, and I still don't feel like I have a good level of patience, but it's a lot better than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just something, by forcing yourself to stick to something until it's really done before you move to the next thing. It really it starts to help you to build that level of endurance and that attention span.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to get a little bit more and a little bit more, and you still might be, you know, fundamentally impatient,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll be able to handle that a little better.
Yeah.
You know, it won't be eating at you like, okay, you know, what am I dealing with? I need to start dealing with this next thing,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't want to deal with this anymore. Let me do something else. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, consequently, like, especially when I was a lot younger, when I was really, I mean, I didn't, you know, I completed certain things. I mean, I got good grades in school, and, you know, my parent, you know, doing chores and just different things like that. You know, and I was practicing and stuff like that, but I don't really feel like I had like I don't feel like in my life that I've had like a really high percentage of completion.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? Like, when it really is done. Like, it's just like the same with like reading a book. Like, I'll read to a certain part in the book and I'll just get bored with it.
Yeah.
And I won't finish those last few pages. It's like 3 pages left. Read the last 3 pages. But it's like, oh, I already got this figured out. You know, I know what it is. Let me go do something else.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Or I'll start watching a television show. My wife, she can't stand this, but she likes to watch stuff from the beginning, and that's my preference. But it doesn't bother me if I start in the middle, or if I watch until a certain point and don't even watch the end. It doesn't even bother me.
Yeah.
You know, because hey, you know, whatever. You know?
It's TV, man. Whatever. You know?
Yeah. Because I'm thinking about the details more than I am. Sometimes I get to thinking about the details more than I am thinking about the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem. That's a problem. But that can be kind of a byproduct of sitting in the practice room and working on stuff a lot. You got to always think about the story and the context.
Yeah.
Think about the context, and then, and I think it'll help you to really put that last coat, that completion on it. Okay, I really did finish this. This really is done. Okay, now let me start doing something else.
Okay.
And you can have several things going on concurrently.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You know, you can have several things going concurrently, but in any particular kind of thing, you should really finish something out.
Yeah.
And then start working on the next thing.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's all I got for you, man.
Cool.
Yeah, you know what I want.
Oh.
You got it, Kat.